Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about the manipulative enzymes, which is a topic from recombinant DNA technology. So first of all, if we talk about the recombinant DNA technology, so it is a set of techniques, or we can say it is a series of steps in which first of all we need to identify a gene or DNA of interest from different sources. The source could be anything, it could be prokaryotes, eukaryotes, anything. And once we have identified the DNA sequence, we can isolate it and we can combine those DNA sequences together so that when we transfer those DNA sequences into another organism, a desirable organism, we can have new characteristic into these organisms. Okay, by combining these DNA sequences, I mean recombination. So this is what recombination is: collecting the desirable gene sequences or DNA sequences from different sources and then putting them together, or we can say attaching them together with one another so that we can have all the good characteristics what we want in a particular organism. This is what recombinant DNA technology generally does. Okay, for this recombination purpose, the step in which we just collecting all the desirable genes and then combining them together, for this purpose we require certain enzymes, and these enzymes are called manipulative enzymes. Because what is the purpose of these manipulative enzymes? It is going to modify the DNA sequences which we have collected from different sources. Okay, by modification I mean that it is these enzyme is going to cut the DNA sequences. Okay, so for cutting those DNA sequences we require enzymes. Then for recombining those DNA sequences together we require again another enzyme. Okay, we need certain modifications in the DNA sequences, and for means carrying out those modifications we require certain other enzymes. So all these enzymes we are talking about are the manipulative enzymes, and these manipulative enzymes can be of different types and we have categorized them into different categories. Okay, so in this whole lecture series we will be discussing about what are the different types of manipulative enzymes and what are their functions, okay, during the time of recombination. So this is what we are going to study now. So let's get started. So here we can see that the manipulative enzymes, which are the enzymes involved in genetic engineering, they can be classified into various categories. And first one in the category is the nuclease. So nucleases are the enzymes which are involved in breakdown or cleavage of the phosphodiester bond between the nucleotides. Okay, so it generally cuts the DNA sequences. Okay, further, this nuclease can be classified into exonucleases and endonucleases. Okay, then next in the category we have is polymerase. So polymerases are the enzymes which are generally involved in the synthesis of DNA. So we have read about these polymerases in replication also. Okay, these polymerases can be of different types like DNA polymerase 1, which is also known as Kornberg enzyme. Then we have Klenau fragment, which is a modification of DNA polymerase 1. Then we have Tec DNA polymerase and reverse transcriptase. Next in the category we have ligases. So these are also the enzymes which are involved in replication, and these basically perform what? The joining of the DNA sequences. So these are basically the molecular glues, and these are involved in the formation of phosphodiester bonds between the nucleotides. That is how they are going to join the DNA sequences. The last category we have is the modifying enzyme. So modifying enzymes are the enzymes which brings changes into the DNA sequences, and these could be categorized further into three types, like alkaline phosphatases are there, then we have polynucleotide kinases, and we have terminal deoxynucleotidal transferases. Okay, so all these enzymes we are going to study in detail in further lectures. and moreover these all enzymes are going to be used in the recombinant DNA technology. But one thing you should know that all these enzymes are naturally present in the organism and they have particular role to perform there. Okay, so here we can see certain functions of these enzymes in the cell. So first of all, they can participate in the processes like DNA replication and transcription, as we have already discussed about the polymerases and ligases. So these are the enzymes involved in these kind of processes. Then we have certain enzymes which are involved in cleavage and breakdown of the unwanted foreign DNA. Like if we talk about the invading virus DNA. So certain bacteria, they generally synthesize these enzymes, and the role of these enzymes is to degrade the invading DNA of the viruses so that they can protect the bacterial cell from these viral attacks. Okay, then we have certain enzymes which are involved in the repair of the mutations or damaged DNA. Then we have enzymes which are involved in the recombination of different DNA molecules. Okay, so these are the basic roles of these enzymes in the cell. So the first enzyme that we are going to discuss about are the nucleases. So as I've already told you that these nucleases are involved in the breakdown of the phosphodiester bonds between the nucleotides, and that is how they are going to cut or degrade the nucleic acid into fragments. Okay, now these nucleases can be further classified into exonucleases and endonucleases, but before going through them in detail, you should know that these nucleases act on nucleic acid differently. Like if we talk about the nucleases that attack on the RNA and degrade them, these are known as ribonucleases. Whereas the nucleases which are going to attack or degrade the DNA molecules, these are known as deoxyribonucleases. Now there are certain nucleases which are only going to attack on the single-stranded nucleic acids. And then there are certain nucleases which are only going to attack on the double-stranded DNA molecules or RNA molecules. Okay. Then further, there are certain nucleases which are going to attack on both the types, means they are going to attack on single-stranded nucleic acids also and double-stranded nucleic acids also. So they are going to act differently on different nucleic acids. So we have certain examples for all of these kinds, right? Now moving towards the exonucleases. So exonucleases basically are the nucleases which is going to attack on the ends of the DNA molecule and not in between the DNA molecule. So whenever a nuclease is going to remove the nucleotides one at a time from the ends of the DNA molecule, that is known as exonucleases. They are not going to act or attack in between the DNA molecules. Moreover, these exonucleases can degrade the double-stranded DNA molecule, or it can attack one strand from the double-stranded DNA molecule and leaving the another single strand intact. Then exonucleases can attack from either terminal. Either it can attack from the 3' terminal or it can attack from the 5' terminal. But at a particular time, it cannot attack from both the ends, right? Now we have certain examples of these exonucleases, and it is very important for you to learn these examples because you might get questions in your part B of the CSI NET exam. So the first example here is Bal31, which can be purified from a bacteria known as Enteromonas aspergillana. And this particular exonuclease basically removes the nucleotide from both the strands of the double-stranded molecule. So it is going to attack on the double-stranded DNA molecule and remove the nucleotides one at a time from both these strands. Okay. Then we have exonuclease 3. This exonuclease 3 can be obtained from the E. coli, and it is going to attack on single strand of the double-stranded DNA molecule. So it is going to attack only on the one strand of the double-stranded DNA molecule, and that too at the 3' terminus. So it is going to attack on the 3' terminal, and it is going to remove nucleotides one at a time from the 3' terminal, only from a single strand and not from both these strands. Okay, so it is going to degrade the DNA strand. Only single DNA strand will be degraded, and the another DNA strand will remain intact, means as it is. Then we have the endonucleases. So endonucleases are what? These are the nucleases which are going to attack in between the DNA molecules. They are not going to act at the end of the DNA molecules. They are going to break the phosphodiester bonds which are present in between the DNA molecules or in between the nucleotides. So it is going to break the internal phosphodiester bonds that are present within the DNA. Okay, it can remove the nucleotides from one strand of a double-stranded molecule or from both the strands of the double-stranded molecule, like we have read about in the exonucleases. Moreover, it can also act on the single-stranded nucleic acid or on the double-stranded nucleic acid. So it is going to act on both the types. Like it can also act on single-stranded nucleic acid as well as on the double-stranded nucleic acid. So here are some examples. The first example is the S1 endonucleases. So it can be purified from a fungus, that is Aspergillus oryzae. It is going to cleave the nucleotides from single strands, that is single-stranded DNA or RNA. So it is only going to act on the single strands. Moreover, it can also act on the nicks. So if a nick is there, so the next DNA strand is single stranded, right? Because it doesn't have anything here. So it is going to act as a single strand only. So these enzymes can act on the nicks also. Okay. Then it does not degrade the double-stranded DNA or the DNA RNA hybrid. So it is only going to act on the single-stranded DNA or RNA, or it is going to act opposite to the nick, where it is getting a single strand. So here you can see this is a single-stranded DNA, or you can say this is the RNA. It is going to cleave it and the fragments can be obtained. Okay, and here you can see there is a nick, and opposite to nick is behaving as a single strand, so it is also going to degrade this one, right? So this is how the S1 endonuclease is going to work. Then another example we have is the DNase 1. So DNase 1 is what? It is a deoxyribonuclease 1, and it can be prepared from cow pancreas, and it is going to attack both single-stranded or double-stranded molecule. It means it can attack both the single-stranded and double-stranded DNA molecule, and it is non-specific in nature. So it is going to non-specifically breaks the internal phosphodiester bonds, leading to a mixture of mononucleotides and oligonucleotides. So as this particular enzyme is non-specific, so it is randomly going to cut the DNA sequences, the phosphodiester bonds from in between the DNA, and it may lead to the generation of mononucleotides as well as oligonucleotides. Okay, so here you can see it can attack both the single-stranded nucleic acid or the double-stranded nucleic acid, and here you can see the generation of oligonucleotides or mononucleotides, right? Then we have mung bean nucleases. So these mung bean nucleases can be purified from the mung bean sprouts, and this is basically involved in the cleavage of single-stranded nucleic acid, both RNA or DNA, but not double-stranded nucleic acid. So it is only going to attack the single-stranded nucleic acid. Moreover, it requires zinc ions for its catalytic activity. Then we have RNase A. This RNase A, basically it is an endonuclease which is going to attack on the single-stranded RNA, that too from the 3' of the pyrimidine residue. Then we have RNase H, which is also an endonuclease, and it is going to digest the RNA strand of the RNA DNA hybrid. So if we have RNA DNA hybrid, this RNase H is going to detect this RNA and degrade it. Okay, it is not going to digest the single stranded or double stranded DNA, only the RNA in the RNA DNA hybrid. Then we have restriction endonucleases. All the above examples that we have read, these are all non-specific. Means it is going to attack randomly on the DNA sequences, and it is going to give you fragments randomly. They are not specific. But these endonucleases, restriction endonucleases, these are the type of endonucleases which specifically cleaves the double stranded DNA molecules. Okay, so they have specific recognition sites where they are going to recognize what they are going to recognize, and they are specifically cleaves at that particular site only. Okay, so these restriction endonucleases, we are going to discuss about these later on in detail. So for now, this is it, and we are going to discuss about all the other manipulative enzymes in our next lecture.